Sir, and that's exactly what we're saying, because we've seen that there is a certain medical institute in Malabar where at the beginning there was a high enrollment, but now no one wants to go there anymore, ladies and gentlemen, because the simple fact that they didn't maintain quality. Thank you for reiterating my point, dear sir. Now coming back to governments, why are governments more socially accountable, and therefore why are public universities more socially accountable? For the simple reason that the government represents the people. They work for the people and they are with the people, and therefore they will work according to the norms and ideals of society and will represent the needs and wants of employers and employees. Yes, sir.
Isn't the strike going on? Isn't it enough proof to show that the government is not catering to the needs of the society?
So the strike going on right now is enough proof to show that the public universities has a proper quality checks and balances system, which ensures that these universities will have to keep up to the requirements of the people. If there were no strikes in a private university, there are not going to be any strikes. Why? If you don't like the system, please leave. You're just another student. You don't have to pay the fees. We'll refund you. But in a public university, that's not the case. If you deserve to be in that public university, if you have managed to get that ISET score, then you need to participate, and then you have the right to revolt, to strike, and tell the government you're not getting what you came for. Yes, sir.
So only the 17% of the students who qualify in terms of Z-score are deserving to be in the public.
No, sir, we are not talking about who deserves to be in this public university sector. But what we are hold on, sir, let me answer your question first. But what we're talking about is is we need a merit-based system, and we believe that if private universities don't exist, we can use scarce resources that are being used and exploited by these private universities and channel them into what is necessary. A proper public university system which has more space for more students, so that the quality of education for those who deserve it and those who have worked hard for it will be provided. And therefore, coming back to my substantive about accountability, why, ladies and gentlemen, are governments more socially accountable? Sir, you're out of time. Because the fact that the governments will have to face elections, they will have to face certain social checks and balance mechanisms that will force them to be accountable. Thank you.
With the conclusion of the face-off round, we did see points of information, answers and questions being thrown from the proposition to the opposition and vice versa. And we saw the debaters taking more of a serious tone, and it might be because of the intensity and the crucial aspect of the quarterfinals, and we're ready to present to both the teams a chance to receive a third-party opinion, to get some advice, to get some tactics from their coaches, and leaving them time to do so, we will move on to an extremely short commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The teams have consulted their coaches. They've used up their last and final lifeline. Let's see how they put it into use during round 3. We're ready to move on to round 3. The format is different. This will be the first time that these debaters will be facing such an intense round within the debater. What would happen here is that the third speaker of each team will be answering the questions directed to him or her by 3 other counterparts from the other team, and these 3 members will be selected by the third speaker of each team, him or herself. Proposition speaker will start off first. Let me invite the speaker from the proposition side of College Matale, who will be representing his school for the rapid fire round. We now invite Ahmed Abdullah.
Hi, I'm Ahmed Abdullah. I'm the third speaker of Zahira College Matale. I'd like to wish Lyceum the very best, and we are here to do our very best.
Ahmed, a big responsibility on your shoulders. Nervous?
Yeah, obviously.
And this is also the second time that you will be on the debater stage. This is your second experience with the debater. Unlike the other debaters present here, do you think this is a disadvantage, and does that make you feel a little bit nervous about yourself?
I don't know what it's like really a disadvantage or not. Basically, yeah, I like the system. Like everyone has to do their own main speech, so it's good.
Let's see how it goes. Ahmed, are you ready to tell us your selection?
Yeah, I'll go with Kavin. Hasita. And Sim.
Start of the rapid fire round. The atmosphere is extremely intense, and the opposition, you may now begin.
Thank you. Dear sir, taking into consideration the fact that you have shown quite a liking towards Bangladesh and India and taking them as similar modules, do you realize the fact that Bangladesh has private universities, India has 112 private universities, and the a study has shown that the Association of a Chamber of Commerce and Industry in India has said that the poor performance of the industry was because of these private universities, and that in Bangladesh many middle income and poorer families have been barred from attending university due to the fact that there are only private universities which they cannot afford. How do you respond? Is this the model you want in Sri Lanka?
Coming to your question about India and Bangladesh, you know, the private universities is what has brought India and Bangladesh to what it is today. Okay, India is like one of the potential future superpowers. I mean, Bangladesh, it was the poorest country in the world, and look where it is today. It's like currency stronger than the rupee.
When the United Nations estimates that about 45% of the Sri Lankans live on less than 226 rupees per day, how do you expect students to be able to afford to pay 600,000 rupees for an MBBS from a private medical college?
What I'm saying here is that we will have scholarships. Suppose, look at the scholarships you are getting here. A person who is excellent in studies gets scholarship. And we are talking about regulations. We are not going to just let private universities come in like that. Okay, we are talking about regulations being put in place and then coming up with private universities. And thereby, with the private universities funds coming in, the government will become richer. And therefore, the percentage they allocate will have more value for its money. So, they can, in turn, spend more money on the state sector universities.
So considering the California University, Nursing University, they charge $60,000 for a certain course and left the graduates who were put out unqualified for their nursing work itself. And this resulted in a huge amount of unemployment in that country. If we put private universities into Sri Lanka, the same case will be happening again. What can you say about this inefficiency and low quality, sir?
As I already mentioned in the previous round, there will be an apex body which maintains the quality. And another thing is, I already mentioned this. And another thing I would like to mention, what I'm saying is, if regulated private universities are not brought in, there are professional degree awarding companies which are coming to Sri Lanka under business registration, and they can in turn come up with low quality education as you suggested. But private universities, we are talking about regulations and private universities, not just private universities, okay?
So you were speaking about the literacy rates of India and how India is a global superpower. So do you agree that private universities have led to the current literacy rate of India? Because the literacy rate in India is quite low, sir. Is that where you want to take Sri Lanka?
I was not talking about the literacy rate. I was talking about the number of graduates, okay? The number of graduates. India has the highest number of scientists in NASA. I mean, we have I'm not too sure, okay, but still. India has the highest number of scientists in NASA. Those are the people I'm talking about, not about the literacy rate of Sri Lanka.
Dear member of the proposition, if we look at the current examples of private universities established in Sri Lanka, we see that there have been several complaints regarding gone to the Human Rights Commission regarding human rights violations which have been occurring in these private universities. And yet nothing has been done to actually rectify this situation. What are your comments on this, sir?
Basically, what we are talking about is Sri Lankan degree awarding private universities here. The ones which we have here don't provide degrees by itself. At the end of its particular years or duration, it sends the student abroad. And then it's a university abroad that gives the degree. So what we are talking is to bring in universities which will award Sri Lankan degrees.
So you speak about Sri Lankan degrees and so on and so forth. So are you agreeing that private universities will not base their decisions on who they are going to select based on the balance sheets? Are you saying that there's going to be a transparent system only based on merit? And then are you then disregarding what Yale and Harvard is currently doing, where 45% of the students taken into Yale and Harvard are based on family legacies and balance sheets and not on merit? Sir, your response to this?
Okay. What I have to say is, suppose there are people who can't afford private schools, okay, private schools for example, and then can I say that it's wrong in the part of those who go to the private universities because they are doing something others can't afford. Can I say that is wrong? I can't, right? Okay, and then coming back to your question. Okay, so I think I've answered the question, right? I can go on footing for my quick answers. And coming back to Malabe, as I already said, the Malabe University is not a Sri Lankan degree awarding company. So
round that just concluded did not take off as fiercely as we anticipated. Let's see how the next round goes on. We're ready to invite the representative from the opposition who will be taking on the rapid fire round. Sandamini Thakada, over to you.
Hi, I'm Sandamini. I'm the third speaker. We hope to do our best.
I have with me Sandamini. Sandamini, are you ready to announce your selection?
Yes.
Go ahead.
My selections are Ilham, Ahmad, and Artha.
This will be the final round for the rapid fire round. Proposition, you may now begin.
Sister, you say private universities are unfair. What makes you think that the Z-score system is fair?
Sir, as you can see, why answering your question on a first level of analysis, why are private universities unfair? Because clearly they do not take students on the basis of merit. We see, you look at Yale, we look at Harvard, we see that they're accepting students. About 13% of the undergraduate class at Yale consists of legacies. And also, why is it the Z-score system unfair? The problem here, ladies and gentlemen, is that we talked about this, accountability. We know that if there is a problem with the public education system, because of the social contract and because of the fact that the government owes a right to the people, they will be addressing the problem at hand, as they are doing now.
Sister, just to bring to your notice, they took 100 days to notice the lecturers going on strike.
Sir,
100 days.
We took 100, public universities took 100 days. The private university in Malabe has not even taken a single day. They have not even thought of a solution to it. And we see that human rights violations are being done. We see that court cases are there and no action is being taken. At least after 100 days, the government has addressed the question at hand. Yes, sir.
A Supreme Court decision has said that the facilities in Malabe is adequate and it will be developed. So Supreme Court, does it get any better?
So we fail to understand. To decide the private university in Malabe, let us consider all the private universities. We see that their quality, they easily give their degree to the students because they have the so-called customers. They want to draw in more and more customers. So how do they do this? They believe that the more students who go out with diplomas, the more customers will come in. So we see that there's a huge reduction in quality because they want to draw in more customers.
I'd like to shoot a question on you. A student who gets 3 A's in Colombo might not enter the university, whereas a student from any other district might be 3B, will be able to enter the university.
Sir, the problem is this. We are talking about the system of merit in a public university. We see that when we have a system of merit, we choose the best of the best. And according to Article 26 in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, subclause 1, we see that you have to select students on the basis of merit. So therefore, if the standard is not 3Bs, then the student will be rejected from the public university. Yes, sir, your question.
That does not happen that way. First of all, do you say that a person who takes 3B in, suppose, Matale is better than a person who gets 3 A's in Colombo?
No, sir, I don't say that.
Then that's what you said. You think the best of the best are selected.
No,
and
No, sir, I never said that. If the qualification or if the standard that the university is demanding has been met, then I do not see why a public university should reject applicants as long as they meet the standard that is required and as long as that is in need or is meeting the demands of the country. Yes, sir, your question.
We have a district. Suppose we have 2 schools with different facilities, but they enter the university with the same Z-score bar. So comment on that.
So we are